Hello and welcome
Hello.
to the show. We have another challenge for you today. This one is a slightly reworked one from a comment I saw a while ago that sounded quite interesting. We are going to build time attack, hot lapping cars, whatever you want to call it, and see who can build the fastest one. And of course, we are going to go around Tsukuba because that's the most well-known time attack track.
Because why not?
Yeah, exactly. This is in Forza. Now, the car that I want to show you on the screen right now should be the HKS Evo. I'm not sure if that doesn't have the record for a lap time around here, or sort of like a normal-ish car lap time around here. Unfortunately, I don't have that because it's a unicorn car, and yeah, I haven't unlocked that one. So this is the next best thing. I didn't build it. I bought this for a challenge a long time ago, and I've never used it. So yeah, I'll put it in the video now. It's kind of close to a time attack car.
It's got a spotlight finally.
Yeah. The normal kind of cars that you would think are going in for this, and the normal cars that are used, are your sort of smallish Japanese sports cars, kind of like this, with the humongous wings and the front wings and the all sorts of silliness aero going on with them. But of course, we're not going to do that, because that would be far too boring. We are going to use stuff much more interesting. Now, there are absolutely no rules on the kind of upgrades. We can do whatever we want to the cars. The only restriction is that the vehicles must be based on a road-going version. So when the car is stock, it must be road legal. For the purpose of this, we are allowing the Lotus 211, as you can have one of them made road legal. So yeah, we're going to allow that. All the other cars are based on a road-going vehicle. Of course, we've got so many upgrades on them, they certainly wouldn't be road legal anymore. The first car, this is what I picked, is a BMW M1, while Daniel has another BMW in the background. Now, this one I'm using is a fairly low R2 car, I think, 852 PI. I'm not sure the PI of high cars. I never drive R2 cars ever, really. This has near enough 900 horsepower, which is quite a lot. Going through a four-wheel drive system.
That's a lot.
It is quite an awful lot. I have got it four-wheel drive so that I can actually use all of this power, because I built a 1,090-something horsepower Ferrari 355 Challenge, and well, you can kind of imagine what's going to happen when you put that much
slidiness.
power. It is much slidiness and wheel spinniness, and you just can't put any power down. So this is four-wheel drive. It means I can actually use the power that it has. There are downsides to having it four-wheel drive, understeer being one of the bigger ones. Yeah, I've never been a massive fan of four-wheel drive cars. I mean, these cars aren't too bad because they've got all the racing tyres and all of that kind of thing put on them. But you still notice the understeer, especially when you've got so much power going through them. However, it is kind of necessary to have that four-wheel drive system if you want to put this power down on the road. Now, I will point out that for each of these cars, we were given 10 minutes. So we did 3 10-minute races for each of our 3 cars. So we have only had 10 minutes really to do this hot lap in. We have done kind of minor tweaks to the tuning setup on all of them, but not massive like overhaul. This is purely to kind of save us a bit of time. We could spend hours and hours practicing and tuning to get the ultimate lap time out of these cars, but we don't have the amount of time it would take to do all of that. So we have limited it. No. It's fair to all of the cars. So yes, we could get a faster lap time out of these cars, but because we've all had the same amount of time, it's all fair. It all evens itself out. I hope that makes sense to everybody. You get the idea. We can't spend forever practicing. But anyway, the M1, a fairly safe bet for my first car, being four-wheel drive. It's pretty quick, I have to say. Yeah, not the most adventurous, but still, I quite like it. I love the M1. It's a great car.
Yes, right. I have got the BMW 2002. This is... I sort of I looked at it and thought... I thought it would be all-wheel drive, a really short wheelbase with lots of power. I thought that would work. That sounded like a fairly good combination for a time attack car. I built it and it worked quite well, actually. I was surprised as to how well it did work. I thought that it would be, ripped way to the power that, even with the four-wheel drive system, the power that I put through it would just be too much, and the four-wheel drive wouldn't be able to cope because of the short wheelbase and stuff like that, and other sorts of problems. But it actually coped really well. I've only got, I've only got 600 horsepower, near enough, in the BM, sort of only, compared to Alex's 900 odd.
Yeah.
2,446 pounds. Alex, it doesn't weigh a lot. I mean, it weighs a little bit less than yours, Alex, doesn't it? It's just only a tiny amount.
I think
But I was surprised. The only one problem we'll say, it is four-wheel drive. It will understeer, like they all do. No matter how much you tune them, you will still get understeer from a four-wheel drive car. Just sort of, that's how it is. But no, I was really happy with it. The tune could be better. I admit that. I can't tune to save my life. The tune could be a little bit better. Yeah, so I was genuinely surprised actually. The PI difference between mine and Alex's is quite a lot. Mine was mid R3 and yours was R2, so it's quite a lot of quite a big PI difference. But I was still fairly confident as to what the 2002 could do actually.
We'll move on next to a Lotus 211. This is my choice. There are going to be Loti. It is inevitable. When we are lapping a track, we are going to have some Lotis. I'm going to call it that from now in this.
Lotis.
And I have gone for the 211. I can't remember, I might have put the Evora engine in this. Either way, it has 725 horsepower, which is an awful lot in a car that weighs 1,700 pounds. That makes something very scary. This thing is terrifying to drive. Of course, it's rear-wheel drive, because it's a Lotus and they only ever do rear-wheel drive things. Yeah, this thing is utterly, utterly terrifying. It's kind of exciting in the same way being chased by a cheetah is exciting. I'm very brief as well.
Very brief and to the point where you get eaten.
Yeah, it's just a terrifyingly twitchy thing. And of course, acceleration is absolutely mental because there is a lot of power and not very much weight. It really is a very quick car. It's not the hardest car in the world to drive, as I said, with the odd 1,000-odd horsepower Ferrari thing that's basically undrivable around here. You can kind of get some power down in this. I don't know what the audio will be like. You might hear there's lots of wheel spin though, and some short shifting going on. And there's me
lots
trying
of wheel
to
spin and occasionally an engine note.
Yeah, okay, many engine notes, I would imagine. I'm trying to take slightly different lines so I can get like a straighter exit coming onto the back straight, so I can put power down earlier. But it's so tricky with these cars because they're so fast. There's such huge amounts of power going through this thing. Yeah, it's not an easy car to drive, but when you do get it right, it is very, very quick.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, it really is a very, very fast car. When you get everything right. When you get everything wrong, you have a big crash, and it's not very nice.
Right, yes. As everyone will know, I will use a Lotus Elise. It's pretty much my thing now. I won't actually use... If there is a challenge in which a Lotus is available, I will use it. Sort of
I have to regularly ban Elises from challenges. Otherwise, it would just be
I will just use
me
them.
against an Elise. That's just what would happen.
Oh dear. So yeah, I've got an Elise with many aero parts, as you can see. This is one of my lesser. I think it's the least powerful car in the whole challenge that we did. This car went for a sort of less is more sort of thing. I decided to go. This has got the Lotus Enduro 124 thingy, whatever it's called, engine in it. But I haven't upgraded it that much. I decided to go for proper handling, aero, the full works handling wise, because I thought that would be a sort of a better option strategy.
You have the ability to put the power down, which is kind of useful.
I can actually put the power down and not just wheel spin it everywhere. Okay, there was wheel spin. As you can see from the videos in various places, there's me spinning up the tyres because I just
there you go, sideways. Good timing.
Yeah, there you go. See, perfect example. Yeah, so there was bits where I was a little bit too eager with my right foot thing. But it is really hard to control, especially when you go around such a tight track like this, when you're mostly in first and second gear round the corners. That makes things even more difficult, and you're constantly thinking about a bajillion different things.
It's also lightness on these things.
Yeah, lightness. This weighs
twitchy.
1,500 pounds. It's so nothing, pretty much. It literally weighs nothing.
I'm pretty sure there's got to be the second lightest car behind the Lotus 11. I can't think of another one.
I can't think of any others.
Maybe the Sprites, that kind of thing, might be that goes down to that sort of weight, but there's not many that are that light. Anyway, my third and final car is the Ultima GTR. I haven't quite gone completely berserk with the power. I didn't put the highly upgraded twin turbos on this because I actually wanted to be able to use it. We saw when we did the drag racing, this thing does struggle putting the power down sometimes, even with the big racing tyres and the sort of as wider tyres as you can go. It still has 760 horsepower, which is quite a lot. It is also an R1 car. Oh no, this thing is blooming fast. Only weighs 2,000 pounds, or 2,100 pounds I should say. Yeah, this is another very, very, very quick car. I would like a bit more grip with this one. As you can see, it is a little bit twitchy. There's just
frisky,
unbelievably high amounts of power and lack of grip almost in this car. Again, like with all of these cars, I could have probably have done a bit better job. I was never quite satisfied with the lap that I got out of this one, but we're going to have a ride on board with the fastest lap that I achieved with this car. First of all, it's rather claustrophobic in the cabin in this one.
There's not much sort of area for room. There's not much room to breathe, is there? In that car?
No, it's all very dark and all very kind of enclosed in this thing. It's a really odd looking car when you look at it from the front. It's a very bizarre shape. I guess it's just for aerodynamical purposes, but yeah, it's an odd looking car, very claustrophobic inside, and mighty fast. When it's this heavily upgraded, even standard, this thing is pretty damn insane. It's so light. I'm not sure what engine it has in it. I think it has I'm not sure what they come with.
Is it a Dodge? No, it's not a Dodge Viper.
I think
is
it's
it?
a Corvette
V8.
I
Corvette,
think it's a Corvette. Yeah, they're mental cars standard, let alone when they're putting out 760 odd horsepower. Yeah, this thing was very, very fast as we come up towards the final corner. It was a relatively clean, uneventful. Well, I say uneventful. It was a scary lap, but it was a relatively clean lap. There we go. As I get across the line and can now breathe a sigh of relief that I have completed a lap without flying it into a wall.
Right, now this is what I have got. I have got the Audi Quattro. This is probably one of my most all-time favourite cars. One of my favourite cars of all time. There we go, English in there somewhere.
English has kind of worked. You're not taking English for A-level, are you? I really hope not.
I'm not taking English for A-level. Don't worry, that is not happening. This has 742 horsepower. 547 pounds-feet of torque, and it weighs 2,500 pounds. By no means is this a slouch. Unfortunately, it hasn't got the power as Alex's various cars that he has bought for this challenge, and it hasn't got the PI to brag about, seeing as this is a
brag about
R3.
anything. Surely not.
It hasn't sort of got the statistics as some of the other cars that Alex has brought, but I did feel fairly confident about this because this has much racing pedigree with its rallying, the rallying pedigree with the ridiculous and insane R2 thing, Audi Quattro race rally thing. I'm there.
I think you should just give up talking today.
I'll just give up talking.
It's just not your day.
I'll just do that. No, it's just in my day.
I think the Quattro S1, I'm not sure if that, I think it might be even R3, but that car, everybody says, well, last time I talked about this, yes, I know, I'm well aware that rally cars are technically road legal, but no, you can't use that one because it's not a production car.
You can't use them to go to the shops and back.
Yeah, well, yeah, one you can't do that, but we weren't allowing them for this challenge because they have to be kind of production cars. So Daniel has to use the standard Quattro and then upgrade it to sort of similar specifications. It's not bad, not a bad car. It seems fairly. It can put the power down, doesn't slide everywhere in the replays, which is always useful.
A good balance, I reckon. I mean, okay, the tune isn't fantastic again. I can't tune to save my life, as I said before. It was an good all-round car, actually. I was genuinely surprised. Wasn't that much understeer, to be honest, which did help me quite a lot throughout with it.
Yeah, so now it is on to the lap times, and here we have the leaderboard. The Ultimate GTR was the fastest. You may have lost this one a little bit. The Ultimate GTR did a 54.0, although I know that can go faster. I was about 2 tenths up when I screwed up a lap. So yeah, I know all of these cars have definitely got more speed in. I know I could have got that Ultimate faster. A little bit, it irritated me on that one. Lotus 211 again, mighty fast. BMW M1. Still pretty damn good lap time. The interesting thing though is the difference between my M1, which is an R2 car, and the likes of the R3, the 2002 Turbo, and the Audi Quattro really isn't a huge amount, considering there's quite a big PI and horsepower and all of that kind of thing difference. It's just the nature of Tsukuba. It's such a tight, twisty tough track to drive around, tough track to get all the power down, that yeah, massive PI differences don't necessarily result in massive lap times. And your theory with less is more with the Elise, it didn't work. More is definitely more.
I absolutely failed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do apologise, all Lotus fans. I have let you down with the Elise.
Dear. So the conclusion that we can draw from this is that for once around a very short track, power is more important than grip. That's not a normal conclusion we come to when we do these things.
No, it isn't actually. I think that's a first.
That is possibly a first, that we can say power is more important than outright grip at Tsukuba.
We must rectify this.
We will have to do some more racing and rectify that outcome. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you have challenges you would like to see us do, then please do leave them in the comment section. We will have a look through, and some of our favourites will be in a video at some point. However, until next time, goodbye.
Bye all.